Yo, first up, here's the host, Efren, explaining knowledge that's applying, never guessing. Next in line is Zach, the stats king. He'll call you out, cross you over, it's a sure thing. I a cheddar, no one better, crazy knowledge. On point, talking pros down to college. Jackie Jack on the grind, he'll never tire. Youngest buck on the show, he brings the fire. Never slip, keep your grip, Tico's in the booth. He's the drip, Tico's lit, always spits the truth. Finally, it's me, it's KG. Piling stats, spitting fast, daily. The Sports Shed, the Sports Shed. The Sports Shed, the Sports Shed. Podcast, the Sports Shed, the Sports Shed. The Sports Shed, the Sports Shed. Podcast, the Sports Shed, the Sports Shed. The Sports Shed, the Sports Shed. Podcast, the Sports Shed, the Sports Shed.
Welcome to another episode of the Sports Shed Podcast. As the intro said earlier, I am your host, Efren. And here on the show, as always, are the regulars. We got Cheddar, Keith, Zach, Jason, and of course, to my right, Jack. Last week was actually the first weekend of college football, which we'll be going over some of the games, and especially some of the games that actually occurred, and just one game in particular that's actually the most important one next week. Then right after that, as we all know what tomorrow is, which is going to be the first day of the NFL season. So once we get over the college, we'll be getting into the NFL season. But as far as what happened this past weekend, the Yavis pretty much won. Oklahoma over Temple, Kentucky over Southern Mississippi. North Carolina, on the other hand, wasn't that easy. They just squeaked by with a road win at Minnesota in 1917. But with that being said, though, there were actually a few games that actually mattered. The first one that I'm going to actually go with is the one that happened on Saturday. Miami over Florida. I don't know if you want to call it a win, a whooping, but I don't know if too many people actually saw that coming, even though they were favored by 2.5. On the last show, I did say Miami was going to win by 7. I just didn't expect that it was going to be in double figures. I know the only person that's probably more happier than anyone around here is probably Keith over there. That's the one with that dolphin cap. I think it's a dolphin jersey. So, Keith, I'm going to let you take this one because I don't think anybody saw this coming. Not the way they won anyway.
I was the happiest I think I've been in many years watching the Hurricanes. I made a reel on TikTok about it. I haven't seen a quarterback that made me excited about my team in forever. Yes, he throws a lot of sidearm passes. That's probably going to get him in some trouble, but he's electric in my opinion. I think he's going to bring us, just him alone and what he can do is going to help us a lot as far as winning some games finally and not losing these little trap games throughout the season. So,
I mean,
it was awesome.
Everybody really want to give the credit to Cam Ward, which I totally understand. But I'm going to also have to say that the defense actually stepped it up last week. I mean, only allowing 122 yards passing, 132 rushing. That's under 300 exactly. 261, 3 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss, and 2 picks. I'm just not gonna just let Cam Ward take all the credit. It made it a lot easier when their possessions came back to them. The defense didn't let them score, and that was on the road in regards to an actual big rivalry in the state of Florida. But Cam Ward did actually have a great game, 385 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he did throw that 1 pick, and they rushed for 144. And had 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's probably the most complete game since, the 80s or 90s on Miami. And then right after that, what did they get rewarded? 19th to 12th overall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let that slide, Keith. I'm going to let you revel in that. I'm going to let you enjoy that. That's giving a lot of credit to Florida. And after what I just saw with Florida, I just don't see them being an over 500 team. So,
I mean, it was on the road as well. And being a Hurricane fan with that in-state rivalry, ask Zach. it was awesome not seeing this stupid thing
still
all
doing-
day
They
long.
were still doing it. But to kind of go off of
And this, you stop.
to go off of what Keith was saying, I was watching it with him, and he like looked like a little kid watching it. Like, he was so happy. It was like it was funny to see. But
I thought about texting him, but I was like, "No, I'm gonna let him celebrate." Sorry about that, Zach.
to go
Yeah.
off of Florida though, their starting quarterback, like he just did not look comfortable, but their backup, their like true freshman, like the number 1 prospect, he came in and he looked pretty good the few drives he was in. So we'll see what Florida chooses to go with, if they want to go back to the starter that they had, or if they want to have this freshman go, because he looked a lot just, I don't know, he just looked comfortable. He came down and had a nice drive towards the end of the game. So we'll see what direction Florida decides to go with. But yeah, Miami they're looking good. And this quarterback looked calm, composed, and like he said, he's gonna have those interceptions that are gonna be like, what are you doing? But then he's gonna have a lot more moments where you're just like, wow, he just looks comfortable. He's making throws you don't see,
And what did you say during the game? What did Martinez look like? Who did he remind you of?
Oh yeah, their running back. He reminded me a lot of Le'Veon Bell, because he would run the ball and he would just wait behind the offensive line to see what holes are going to open up. He was
Patience.
very patient, and it's something I haven't seen since Le'Veon Bell. So Miami all around just looked good.
I mean, the Florida quarterback, I know they said in Texas, I want to say out of Willis High School, they said, and I don't know if he was the number 1 quarterback recruit for this coming year in the state or the entire country.
He was the number 1 dual threat quarterback.
In this coming draft.
coming in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Into college, being recruited out of high school, the number 1 dual threat quarterback.
He did look good for the time that he played.
That's going to be the best hope that Florida's going to have for the rest of the year, because everybody pretty much labeled them having the
True freshman.
The worst difficult schedule for the rest of the season. So I just don't see Florida going anywhere. If I was just moving along, actually the next one really is actually USC at LSU. Where is Cheddar?
Let's talk.
His dad is like talking to him.
Let's talk about the
okay.
So if you want to move
Oklahoma
this,
game first.
If you want to move this game,
No, we're gonna hold off. We're gonna hold off on LSU till he comes back. So we're gonna move on to Michigan.
We're not letting him slide that easy.
No, we're not. Our boy Tigo's not on the show right now. But Michigan really, even though they won 31-10, that wasn't really convincing. Having only 1 return starter on the offense, the offense was stagnant. They couldn't move the ball. Their defense really is what carried this entire game. I mean, here's the crazy thing. They allowed under a total of 300 yards, total 269. Out of that, they only allowed 9 rushing yards for the game. They had a pick 6, 2 picks, and only allowed 244 total yards. That was Michigan's defense. So in actuality, it was Michigan defense 30, Fresno State 10, because I don't even think Michigan was even playing offense that game.
Well, okay, so how many points on defense did they score?
I believe they only scored the 6, and then everything else was like, I believe they got 3 field goals, and they were able to actually get those touchdowns because of field position as well. So I'm not.
If they're scoring 30 points, I don't think you could just say that's on the defense. Like the offense has to score.
Yeah, because they don't have to drive as much.
Okay, but they're still doing the job. I mean, it's 30-10. You can't say they're not, looking good. They just beat a team 30-10.
The team Fresno State was about to score.
They're about to score. It was 23-10, and
which would have made it a 1-score game.
And they didn't.
And he threw a pick 6.
Okay,
that's what turned it around. If they scored, then there was about 4 minutes left in that game. And the way their defense was playing, if they stopped Michigan again, Michigan was in trouble if he didn't throw that pick 6.
He doesn't throw that pick 6. The likelihood is we could have potentially have seen an upset. It was basically the defense that set up the offense in whatever fantastic field position they had.
Yeah, that
That's
score
why
did
they
not
won.
dictate how that game was going.
And I was actually watching that whole entire game, and until he threw that pick, and I think there was like either 4 to 5 minutes left
Yeah,
in the fourth quarter when they were about to score, just right before he threw that pick.
it would have made it what 20. What was it, 24 to 17 at the time? It would have made it
23-17.
23-17 if they scored
I
then.
disagree on this one, but it's fine.
No, that's all right. That's all right. If anybody else, I mean, chime in, because I'm not really too. I'm more concerned about Michigan more so than anything else, because right now they have no offense.
Well, I mean, it's
point.
their first game. They just lost a bunch of people. I mean, and they're coming off 30-10. I mean, come on.
Well, this is college, though.
It's college, and they won
that's-
30-10. So I mean, I don't.
The score doesn't necessarily dictate the way the game was going and the way they
They
played.
scored 23 points
Exactly.
though. So
Exactly.
23 point on field position.
okay, and I could bring up how the defense let them score 10 points. How are they going to let them score 10 points if the defense is doing so good? How are they going to let them score?
Did you
10
watch
points?
Did you watch the game?
I did.
Okay, you got different eyes then.
Michigan's, other than the interception, they had one touchdown for a 31-yard drive. The drive was 31 yards total, and then the other one was a full length of the field, 75, and then just a bunch of field goals.
That's
So not the best offensive performance, but they did, come through with at least scoring. They contributed to the field goals. They got a couple of touchdowns to them. We'll see how they look against a good team, but I mean,
At some
and
point,
obviously,
those field goals will cost you games at some point.
and then given just all the offensive players they lost, I mean, we'll see going forward if they can come through, because playing a good team and then only having like one really good drive is not gonna go well.
Who does Michigan play next again?
Texas,
There we go.
which we'll be
We'll
actually
see.
talking about that.
we'll
But
see from there.
from there, the next one was, I don't know if it was much of a shocker, more of a surprise, but not a shocker. USC over LSU, 27-20. Both quarterbacks were actually playing to the level that everybody was expecting. The only difference is that LSU just couldn't score. They were 5 for 13 on third downs alone, so they couldn't convert at the moment they needed to. Even though USC only rushed 72 yards, they still threw for 378. It just tells me that their pass defense, LSU, is just not as good as everybody thought it was. I mean, he threw for 378 yards and a touchdown. They just can't move the ball when it came down to third down. And LSU just actually lost a big one. And then now USC, that's the biggest jump. That one from 23 to 13, 10 spots up.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, it's not really surprising, because the last 5 years they've lost, like 5 in a row, they've lost their season opener for the last 5 years. So, I mean, I don't know if it's just an LSU thing, but losing your season opener 5 years in a row is not great.
My question to Chetta, if you were to return or whatever, would be, does he still have Florida and LSU making the college playoff? Because I know he had them last week.
I had Florida State into the playoffs, so that's a solid no on that one. LSU still has an opportunity. They do play in the SEC versus Florida State playing in the ACC. But at the end of the day, and LSU had 33 minutes possession of the football, while USC had 27 minutes, 6 minutes less. So LSU had more opportunity and had the ball much longer than USC. USC capitalized the minimum possessions they had.
I said he had Florida, not Florida State.
Oh, Florida.
He had Florida.
Oh, Florida. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Oh, my gosh. That makes it that's even worse for him. Never mind. I take Florida State is one thing, being ranked 10th in the preseason. But then to pick Florida just out of the blue, okay. Well, he has a lot to, unless he's actually trying not to want to be on the show.
No, his dad's talking to him.
No, I know. For now, we'll call it technical difficulties. so really the next week's game is actually going to be just one, which is number 4 Texas at right now. Actually, they dropped a spot from 9 to 10 at Michigan. Look, I know.
Are you gonna go over the Notre Dame game?
Oh,
Or the
What is-
Oklahoma game?
He just said that they won.
Kentucky?
well, I just said Oklahoma won, Kentucky won, North Carolina. Pretty much, almost all of the teams that should have won actually won, and then we went over it, and then Notre Dame actually being the underdog, I believe, was about 2.5, 3, and I mean Texas A&M, just another team with no offense. They couldn't move the ball. First half, Notre Dame couldn't move the ball. They did move the ball. They just couldn't punch it in. And for some reason, in the fourth quarter, they just came up alive. Long touchdown run. They just ended up stopping, and they just couldn't move the ball. I mean, as far as Texas A&M, I know that that's probably going to be the best ranking they're going to have for the rest of the season at number 20. They're no longer ranked. Their quarterback is pretty much suspect. And
Last year he got hurt, but in the games he did play, he was playing really well. I think he's one of the top ranked quarterbacks. So I think I would have to give a little bit of, respect to Notre Dame's defense for that. So I'm not going to completely say that it was just bad offense. I mean, he's from what I've seen in some of the performances last year, he did put up good numbers, and Notre Dame did their thing. So,
well, at least it could have gone either way. I mean, in this, I had Texas A&M winning, but they're also going to have a long season. I don't see how they're going to be moving that ball. I mean, both defenses were there, but
I think they're like evenly, like they're both even teams. Like, I think they have decent offenses, but I think as a just as a team, like they both have really good defenses and they both have like solid offenses. I think they just both played against two good defenses, and that in the end of the game, with the score, I think that's what showed. And obviously, with Texas A&M, they got to go up against other really good schools, whereas Notre Dame doesn't really have much of a schedule. So they like really can't afford to lose many games, whereas like Texas A&M, if they can get some good quality wins and, only another loss or two. So that's kind of how I look at that game. I won't really like discredit either of these offenses. I think they just went against two good defenses. I didn't fully watch the game, but I don't know, that's just kind of how I take it because they're both good teams. So we'll see how the rest of the year plays out.
So we're going back to the LSU game.
yes.
Yes.
Cheddar, welcome back. How are you doing?
Chilling like Bob Dylan, boys.
Yes. So before we move on into another topic, the NFL, we just wanted to finish up and go over the USC win over LSU. At that point, I believe LSU was 13th, USC was 23. And so please give us your perspective in regards to how in the world LSU lost that game. Go ahead. Knock yourself right out, my friend.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
listen, LSU.
Wide before University.
LSU. Wow, where do I get started here? Where do I get started with LSU here? Oh,
This is I want the catch of the year against LSU defense. I just want you to watch this.
It's definitely not coach catch of the year. Catch of the year is the pick.
One-handed that over two defenders.
It will. How about
The
this?
pick is
It's a
coach of the year.
nominee. How about this? It's a nominee. It's a nominee.
Okay. I'll accept nominee. I'm just trying to pull up the box score here because I had to restart my PC. So
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
Look at that. They tackled each other.
There you. Oh, one
Man,
more
why
time.
can't
One
I
more
do-
time. One more
why
He
time.
can't I
had to
find
fully
this?
turn his body. That's
Oh,
crazy.
Here.
Ooh, looked like he tracked that.
It is a sick catch though.
I mean, let's be honest. LSU's defense just couldn't
Yeah,
stop.
LS. All right, I got the stats now. All right, so LSU's defense was very bad. They could not. they could not stop. They could not stop the passing of USC. It's almost like I was watching the Giants secondary play in college football. Like it's insane how bad the secondary was.
We're gonna start a streak here
Can we talk about college football
on
on
every
I am.
episode when he drags in the Giants at every conceivable time he can. We're gonna keep a streak on that. And I think it's been from day one. Go ahead, Chada. Go ahead.
Giants counter.
I honestly being up going into the fourth quarter. Okay, I don't know what the game plan was with the head coach for LSU. I don't get it. Why not start running the ball? Trying to waste some clock. Learn how to protect the lead maybe in your first game of the season.
I mean, you only rushed for 113 yards.
Yeah,
And in
yeah.
college, it's not like that's a lot.
No, it's
Their-
not a lot. It's
Their
not a lot.
problem
That's what I'm
was
saying.
the problem was
They-
they couldn't run the
they
ball
cou-
at all
Yeah.
game. Whereas their quarterback,
Yeah.
when you look at his numbers, he went 30 for 39,
Yeah,
300 yards, the 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. They just
Yeah.
couldn't run the ball.
Yeah.
and they couldn't.
Too many 3 and outs.
And they just got and USC just threw all over the field.
Like
And like I
the
mentioned, 5
LSU
to 13
quarterback
for third
actually
down.
had a better quarterback
A better
rating
overall
than USC's
game.
Miller
Yeah.
Moss.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's just a run game.
Honestly, do I think LSU is trash? No. Do I think they had a bad game? Yeah, I think it was a bad game. I think it was a bad game.
Let's-
I
I just want to say, let's just give credit to USC's defense. I mean, they stopped the run, which is just an improvement from last year. You
It
know,
held them to 20
Um,
points.
Yeah.
You know, so
So
Yeah.
I mean, and all they said was they didn't have to even be average. They can be below average, and it's still a huge improvement what they
From
had
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they could just play this way, I think more often than not, I think they're gonna probably end up winning. But I'm not.
didn't you have USC under 500?
I did.
Do you,
I
do
still
you change
do.
your mind on that?
No, not
You
yet.
still do?
I'm still
Not yet.
hanging with it.
I am
I'm
more
not-
concerned.
I'm not gonna just gonna.
So do you think it was luck?
Nah, I'm not gonna say it was luck.
I'm more concerned with LSU
Let's say
than I am with impressed with USC. I'm more concerned with LSU than I am impressed with USC.
Nah, I'm more impressed with USC. I mean, the fact that they've given up, I think their defense averaged like 40 points giving up last year, and now to only give up 20 to LSU to stuff the run.
Yep.
You know, I'm gonna give credit to USC in this, and then obviously LSU, they just got to try and figure out how to run the ball, get manageable third downs. But considering that USC pulled off a win against one of their tougher opponents,
Yeah.
for the year, I think
Yeah.
that my prediction of them being over 500, you know, even if it's like 7-5, like I said last week, I think that
Now,
good for them.
Now, what happens if USC comes back this week, week 2, with just a complete turd? They turd in this game.
They play Utah.
Are you-
State.
Are you still going to be high on them if they come out this second week and turd?
I would
It's
expect
Utah
them.
State, so I'm not gonna like.
I would expect them to win, but they play Michigan week 3, so I would want to see that. I would expect them to take care of business against Utah State.
I think.
I think it's that Michigan game that's going to tell.
Are you holding Michigan to that standard that they were last year though? Because they didn't look all that good.
I mean, their defense did
Their
what
de-
they're
well,
supposed to do.
Their
And then
offense.
obviously their offense just has to contribute some sort of.
If they run, they'll be
You know?
fine. If they
Yeah,
run, they'll be
Michigan
fine.
has to get their offense figured out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things for a lot of teams. You know, everybody can have something they need to work on. But the big
yeah.
thing is just pull out victories. So, you know, time will tell.
Well,
Oh, Zach, do you change your mind as well on Florida and LSU as your picks to make the college playoff? Does anything change?
I'm not changing my stance on LSU, but Florida, yeah, kind of concerning.
Okay.
I still had University of Miami making it though.
So LSU under 500? What?
I would not say LSU under 500. No.
Florida might.
Florida and Florida State, maybe.
I'm just kidding.
Well, you never know. You never know. It is Ayachetta's team. So now moving along, the next game and the only game actually that matters next week is actually going to be Michigan versus Texas at Michigan. Number 4 versus number 10. Now, Texas, we all know they ranked number 4 for a reason. They obliterated Colorado State 52-0. They had 190 yards rushing, 355 yards passing. Their defense only allowed 74 yards passing, 118 yards rushing, 2 picks, and 5 tackles for losses. I'm not gonna say they're the greatest right now. I mean, they did play Colorado State, but every single game, this one right here is gonna be a statement game.
See,
As far as playing a Big Ten, the defending national champions. I know our boy's not here. He's a Michigan fan, and I'm sorry, and it's gonna take to this last minute to make this decision. But I've got Texas beating Michigan at Ann Arbor this coming weekend.
I mean,
I believe he's watching.
so Efren, I'm not going to disagree with you either. I believe Texas is going to beat Michigan. They're 7.5 point favorites already.
Texas is ranked 3rd, by the way, not 4th.
Yeah, 3rd.
I think they moved up one.
Texas is good, man. They're good.
I guess the
especially-
real question is, do you guys think they're going to win by double digits?
Yes.
Against Michigan, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be so far
honestly,
ahead. Archie Manning's coming into the game and throwing
I
2.
think that's all right.
That's a reach.
I think I'm taking Michigan on this one. I think with their defense, I mean, they've shown that they
Eagles
have a great
clapping.
defense. I think they're obviously gonna focus mainly on offense. So if they just put that together in this coming week, I really do think they can take this one and beat Texas.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say double digit.
Yeah, like
wins
double
by
digits,
Texas.
put Archie
I'm
Manning, like
not-
that's too much. That's,
I don't think you're in Ann Arbor, over 100,000.
yeah, I mean,
Your
come on.
defense is right where it's supposed to be.
Especially coming off of a win in the
I'm not-
championship.
you know,
like-
I can see. Like I said, I got Texas winning, but it's
That
not
don't
going to
matter.
be a double digit win. It's not. Archie Manning is not going to come in there and just start. For him to come in
They're
like
gonna be
last week, that means
Yeah.
that Texas has to be blowing Michigan away. Like it's got to be a 3 touchdown lead. That's just not going to happen with Michigan. I don't think it is.
For me, I think that the Texas will win by about 10 to 14 points. I think that Texas is obviously going to put up more points than Fresno State. But I think that Michigan will have a little bit, they're not going to be creating those turnovers like they did and getting just great field position every single time. I think they're going to struggle to really move the ball, and because I think a lot of their drives started around midfield and they had to get a first down or two to then kick those field goals. So I think they're going to win by about 10 to 14. So like a 31-32 to like 20 game. That's going to be like my prediction.
Well, I mean, pretty much except for 2, Jack and Tigo. I guess everybody has Texas and they have Michigan. I would take it.
Yeah, for me, it's just the Michigan offense. If they come in and pull together, then I think they can win. If they don't, then they're getting blown out. To be honest,
They may
They couldn't put it together against Fresno State. They're not putting it together against
it's
Texas.
the first game of the season. I mean, they just
And they're-
lost their
and just 'cause-
starter running back, like all of these players, and you like,
which is the reason why I'm saying
and they still won by 20. You're acting like they won by 3 points. I mean, come on, 30
they were
to
about
10.
to lose that. They were on
And
the
they
verge of
didn't.
losing that game.
I don't know.
You
what
can't
to
you
say.
can't
They
just
didn't.
like
They
say
won
that
70%.
wasn't about to happen.
You talking about Michigan still?
I also saw that their corner is like a top ranked corner for Michigan, and he was giving up a lot of catches. Like he wasn't looking like his best performance. So I think looking at that, seeing Quinn Ewers and this Texas offense, I think that he's going to be able to just spread the ball more around, move it and just.
It's
Do you-
going to be 24-10 at
Do
the
you
half.
think? Do you think Quinn put himself in the category of like top 5 quarterbacks in this next draft?
Yeah,
Top 3, whatever.
I don't know about
I
top
think-
3.
You don't know about top 3?
I think there's a lot of good quarterbacks. I don't think there's one that's like, clear cut. Okay,
'Cause I mean-
number one.
Because I mean, you're obviously gonna go. You're gonna go back. You're gonna go Shador, and then who are you putting after them?
Jackson Dart and then Quinn Ewers, I think, are the next two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carson Beck at
I-
Georgia.
I really
mean,
think
it's-
that this quarterback class is really just up for the taking because there's a lot of good quarterbacks and a lot of people. Well, these quarterbacks, they have something to prove. I mean, anything can change.
Also, it's about who improved the most. You know what I mean? Like you got to try. What sets other QBs apart from the other QBs? You know what I mean? Being able to extend the play, being able to create something out of nothing. But I'm going off a topic here, so
No, that's all right. But we pretty much have everybody winning here.
please
except
mute your cell
for-
phones.
Yep. So we're basically going to be everyone but 2 for Texas. So,
So,
I
so
still
Jack
see
and
it.
who else are we including?
Tigo.
Tigo in that?
Tigo. Yeah, I'm going to include Tigo.
I mean, he's a Michigan fan. I
Yeah,
hope
he's
he
going
doesn't
Michigan.
go against his
Yeah,
team,
exactly. So I'm going to give him the benefit of doubt. He's going to pick
knowing that he
Well,
takes
he
Daniel
said
Jones over
crazier
Tua.
things,
There's
though.
no way he's taking Texas over Michigan.
Exactly. So we are approximately a day away for the first game of the NFL season. So I'm just cannot wait to get started here. And of course, right, diving right into it, it's going to be tomorrow's first game. It's going to be, for those of you that are a certain age, that's the soundtrack for Tecmo Bowl. The first game tomorrow, actually, it's going to be Baltimore versus Kansas City.
Yep.
Kansas City's favored by 3. We have back-to-back defending champions. They're going to be trying to go for 3P. They're playing against a team that actually they beat in the AFC Championship 17-10 and going out to winning their second Super Bowl. I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Chiefs are gonna win the Super Bowl, but they're gonna do everything they possibly can starting tomorrow. And it's not a do it. I think it's more important that Baltimore wins than for Kansas City. Only because them losing the AFC, and that's actually gonna be a start for the number 1 seed moving on. The Chiefs themselves actually re-signed Chandler Jones. They drafted Xavier Worthy. Who had the fastest time in the combine, I believe it was 4.2. And as far as the Chiefs, here's the crazy thing. Last year, they won the Super Bowl, and you can't really say that it was Patrick Mahomes altogether on the offense. Last year, I believe the Super Bowl was won through their defense. They were second in points allowed, just barely over 17. And who they were behind? The team they beat in the AFC Championship game. They were just under 17. I'm going to go ahead and ask Jack who he thinks is going to win, what's going to happen, because he's our Chiefs representative over here. Go right ahead. Knock yourself right out.
That's kind of a stupid question. I mean, it's pretty obvious who's going to win, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult with, Lamar Jackson and what's his name, Derrick Henry and that Ravens defense. But I mean, they've proved that they can win when they're just like when they're what's the word? When they're not picked to win. When the majority of the people don't think they're gonna win, they can win.
I still can't get over the fact that you said that was a stupid question.
It is. You're saying you're asking me who's gonna win.
I think in humility doesn't sink in with you every now and then.
I mean, they've proved that they can win without the top players. I mean, with Patrick Mahomes, he had no receivers. They were dropping passes come on. And then in the beginning of the season, their defense wasn't that great until
They're
they
still
picked
going
it
to
up.
be dropping passes. But
I mean, it's no different than Tigo picking Michigan.
I mean, I just with the signing of Chris Jones, you got Xavier Worthy, you got Rashid Rice. I mean,
it's not a guarantee. That was just 1 year with the defense. They could always sit back and and digress on the defense. I'm not gonna sit here and say that they're gonna be second overall all over again and just allow less than just about 17 points a game. But again, I'm not the one who asked Patrick Mahomes.
Listen, the Chiefs have a 12% chance of three-peating. That's the highest.
No, it's
And
not.
yes, it
Actually,
is.
they're the
12% of winning that. Yes.
And the 49ers.
Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs.
No, they're not.
The 49ers are favorite to win the Super Bowl over the
And how'd that
Chiefs.
go last year?
It didn't. That's
Exactly.
why I don't understand why they're even number one. They shouldn't be. So
Yeah, you're right. They should. It should be the Kansas
Yo,
City.
Jack's got to keep this energy when my team comes up.
Who, the
They're
Giants?
going against regular season Lamar too. He plays for some reason way better in the regular season than the playoffs.
Yeah, I guess you got to ask yourself, did the Baltimore Ravens do enough in the offseason to improve enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs?
well, let's see.
I just Googled it, and the Chiefs are higher than the 49ers. I just Googled it.
Oh, so that changed. Okay, so
It's
now
like
that-
570 to the Niners like 670.
Oh,
650,
so that's
660.
So-
changed the last week or two.
Are we gonna go? Are we asking? We're talking. Wow. Are we gonna ask everybody about this matchup?
Yeah, everybody give their
Yeah,
pitch.
just pitch in
All right.
whenever
So
you
you
want.
want me to pinch in? I'll pitch in here. Baltimore Ravens are winning this game.
Why?
Sorry, Jack. Why? Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Mark Andrews. You guys don't have Marquise Brown. Xavier Worthy has looked garbage against press coverage.
Mhm. Okay.
Travis Kelce, I mean, if he drops the balls at the rate he dropped last year, there might be a little issue there. But the only difference is you do have Patrick Mahomes. But
Mahomes, Isaiah Pacheco, Rasheed Rice. I mean, Chris Jones.
I think the
Ravens.
Ravens can contain the run game of the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if they can contain the passing game. It's gonna be who could stop who, but I'm gonna go the Ravens.
The Ravens lost 3 offensive starters last year. They lost Patrick Queen to the Steelers. They lost the defensive
He's
coordinators to the Seahawks. Go Hawks! And the only thing they basically did besides draft a guard in the second round
Was
was
getting Derrick Henry.
just Derrick Henry. That's all they did.
So there you go. That's what I'm getting at.
They actually lost it. I mean, just by what I just said,
That's a 3-to-1 ratio.
they actually
No, it's
lost more than they actually gained.
No, they're
You're
smart.
actually you have to count on 3 new linemen in an area where the Ravens actually were very consistent on, and they lost 3 of them. They lost Patrick Queen, the heart and soul of that team, regardless
He's
what
mid.
anybody else says. Okay, went to the Steelers, to their rival. That defense has gotten better. I just don't see how the Ravens are going to be able to beat Patrick Mahomes. Now, to me, if you take Patrick Mahomes and you take Lamar Jackson, even during the regular season, let's say that's a wash just in itself. I'm still going to take the defense of the Kansas City over the Ravens.
Listen,
because I think they lost more.
I'm taking the Steelers over the Ravens, so there's no way I'm taking the.
I have the Steelers winning the division, but that's a difference.
There's no way I'm taking the Ravens
All
over
right.
the Chiefs.
So for me, I think that the Chiefs definitely made some moves on this offense. You know, drafting Xavier Worthy. They did sign Juju Smith-Schuster. They have Marquise Brown that's going to return at some point this season. The way I look at it and why I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens is that
Thank you.
the Chiefs are kind of known for starting off somewhat slow and then just going on just a great win streak to end the season. And they kind of have this thing where they lose to those teams. Like I think they did it the last 2 years to the Buffalo Bills, who they beat in the playoffs. And I don't know, something about those teams like the Ravens, the Bills, there's something about them where I think they're going to come in and then they beat them in the regular season. And I think that, so that's why I'm picking the Ravens. But if they meet in the playoffs, I don't care if it's in Baltimore or in Kansas City, I am picking the Chiefs. It's just how history is. I mean,
100%.
when Patrick Mahomes is in the playoffs, he just finds a way to win.
100%.
So that's why regular season, I'm picking the Ravens. You know, obviously bringing in Derrick Henry, a running back who hopefully can stay healthy because they have that issue as well. Lamar Jackson, regular season, he's just MVP Lamar Jackson. So that's why I'm going to pick the Ravens to somehow find a way. It's going to be close. It's going to be a good game. But playoff time comes. I mean, I'm still going to pick the Chiefs for that.
Same.
But that's my take on it.
Keith?
I think Zach's been here too long because he pretty much took everything I was going to say and just said it.
Well,
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
you
like it's true. It's true. They lost against Detroit last year opening week. Like I picked Detroit to beat Kansas City last year.
They're a lot
Opening
like
week.
Seattle in that department. When we were really good, we always seemed to start 2-2, and then we just get hot.
The important
Just run
games are at
away
the end
with
of the
it.
year anyways.
And the Chiefs get hot at the end of the season. They're still
And
making the
divisional.
playoffs. Even with I think this loss. I mean, they're
Oh,
still gonna
yeah.
be
December's
the
where
best
it's
team in this
important.
league.
So, as far as opening day, let's see.
Jason,
well-
you gonna chime in?
Ravens.
Ravens. That's it. Nothing else. Just straight over. Wow.
So
Wow.
4-2.
4-2.
Wow.
Listen, they have started off slow in the recent
Shoot.
years, but they're not going 0-3. Like they've been
said-
winning a few games.
Ravens have a very young offensive line,
Yep.
but I think they're going to look at more impressive than what people think. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
And obviously having Derrick Henry, that's going to take the ball out of Lamar
yeah.
for a little bit to hopefully just keep him,
If-
healthy and then not, taking these hits.
If Derrick Henry can stay healthy and go throughout the entirety of the season, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them. I mean,
Now, sorry.
No, go ahead.
You're good.
it's fine.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I think they'll have a winning season. I don't know by how much though. I think it's going to be Ravens. They'll probably what is it? 9-7. How many games? 8-7.
I think it's like
I think you're right.
9 and
9-7. I think you're 9-7
yeah,
or 10.
10-7, 9-8.
Yeah,
9-8 or 10-7.
yeah.
They
So-
got to face Russell Wilson.
So they'll
What-
probably
what I
squeak
was gonna-
into wild card probably.
What I was going to add into what you said, Jason, about Derrick Henry. So history is not leading Derrick Henry because superstar running backs that switch teams tend to have a big decrease in production. If you look at
Reggie
history,
Bush didn't.
that was
Ricky Williams didn't.
Ricky Williams didn't.
yeah,
Make
but
sense.
that's outliers. That was like when Wildcat and stuff was coming into the game.
Right.
But yeah, like so it's if Derrick Henry can put up the production he put up in
Tennessee.
Tennessee Titans.
with less reps, then I would consider the Ravens better than what they were last year. If he can't and he needs more, I don't think it'll work out.
Well,
I don't think he can take the load of what he used to.
I don't think
No.
he's going to take as much of a workload, but I kind of looked at his stats, and he hasn't had a season where he averaged under 4 yards per carry.
Yeah, I get
even in
yeah.
his first two seasons.
Pete, I just want to. I don't know if he can do that with less carries. Like, does he need that amount of carries to to get him
No.
going, or can he do
No.
it with like 16 carries? You know what I mean?
He can do it with
I've
16.
I've looked at it, and he has seasons where he doesn't have that like 300 rushing attempts, but he still is. He hasn't had a season averaging under 4 yards per carry.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then his last like 6 seasons, he's had at least double-digit touchdowns.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't think he's gonna have like that 2,000 rushing season, but I think he can get 1,000, on like or like high 200s, and then still get double digits. Because I mean, you get
Yeah,
into the
go-
goal line. I mean,
yeah.
you just hand it to him.
And when
Go
you're on a
RPO.
team where your QB almost gets 1,000 yards rushing,
Exactly.
I think that's
Yeah.
gonna help too.
That's
You
just
got
gonna be
great
awesome.
options. You
That
got
read
to
options.
you got to play
Pick your
both.
poison.
They're going to run a lot of RPO.
Yep.
So
Me,
4
this game, I'm
for.
looking forward to
So
it.
I'm taking 4 for Ravens.
I can't wait.
And 2 for the Chiefs. Us 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're looking at. All right, fair enough. I'm just gonna write this down here.
That's because Jack was going to punch you and take the Chiefs. So that's what that was.
Yeah, sure. That's gonna ever happen.
we're a safe distance. You're not.
Yeah. Yeah. We're safe.
Well, right
Yeah,
after
you're lucky.
Well,
Right
I come
after
back. I come back tomorrow. So.
I'll be up tomorrow to watch the game.
Oh, I'm gonna be watching
Efren.
the game.
When
Good
Zach
job.
pulls into the driveway, you need to film this interaction because I want to see him. I want to see Jack pick on Zach for picking the Ravens. I need you to film it.
He can pick on both of us.
There's probably nothing going to be able to be filmed.
I
gonna let
think I
the-
gave a
I'm gonna-
fair response as to why I'm picking her. I
Yeah.
think it's respectable. I
I'm
would
gonna
like
let
to
the
think.
Chiefs. I'm gonna let the Chiefs do the talking.
Jack, at the end of
Like,
the
it's gonna be
day,
a
all you
close
got
game. I think it's gonna be the
I-
last team to have the ball. Is gonna.
All
Be.
I
at the
gotta
end of
do
the day,
is
Jack,
all
all
I
you
gotta
gotta say is Daniel Jones to me, and you
Oh my
win.
gosh!
Okay, move it on.
Next
Let's
game.
move
Next
on.
game. Next
This
game.
next game. Thank you for the segue. The Friday night game, which is actually going to be in Brazil, is going to be the Packers and the Eagles.
Slums.
Last year, the Packers actually made the playoffs. I believe at a 9-8 record.
I'm taking Eagles by 20.
And then, of course, the Eagles revamped their offense by signing. Hey, Cheddar, remind me which former Giant signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, which is the NFC East with the Giants. Remind me of that name again. I want you to say that name.
Daniel Jones.
Are you
My
Googling?
inquiring minds want to know.
Are you
Who?
Googling right now?
The people need to know.
You Googling the gentleman's name?
Who'd they get?
Did you forget him already?
Oh, wow, really?
He didn't do anything for the Giants, so I don't care.
Wow.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Wow.
He has been injured.
What did he do for the Giants?
Wow.
Carried him.
What
to-
have you done
the
for me
playoffs.
lately?
What has he done for the Giants?
Carried him. to the
Saquon
playoffs.
Barkley is the new added.
See, you hold on. No, you
If
said
I'm Saquon, I'm happy I'm out of New York.
I'm happy he's going too. I'm happy he's going too.
Hold on.
I'm
Philadelphia.
happy he's going too.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Zach, go ahead,
You saying that? Oh, what has he done? Is
What
like
has he done?
is like no. Hold on. Are you saying that? And if you actually look at his numbers when he plays, because he has seasons, quite a few seasons where he's played. That's like saying, what about Barry Sanders? I mean, he was on a losing team, but he didn't do anything. Like just because he was on a losing team, that means you're not doing anything.
well, the
it's
difference is
same. It's
people-
the same thing.
The difference is
Same thing.
people are trying to make it seem like the Giants' world is over just because we lost Saquon.
Man,
When we
kinda is.
still got a
I don't-
scrub
It
at a
was actually,
QB.
actually, it
I-
The
was
I
season
think-
was over.
I
when we
think
go into
with
the
or
season
without
Daniel
him, you
Jones
got
as a
you
QB.
got people think you'd have the same season.
Exactly.
Like,
So what is the point?
But like you,
I mean,
but
you guys
can't
were
completely
down in the dumps.
discredit what a guy has done for you just because he
Word.
left the team to go
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
you guys,
Oh,
you guys
100%.
Richard
You're-
Sherman went to the
you're
Niners.
not-
Like I
listen,
still like understood
listen,
it, and I
listen,
respected
you're
his
not-
game
you're-
for what he did for
You're
us.
not. You're not leaving. What did Saquon do for the New York
Listen,
Giants?
you guys, no,
Bro,
you guys
It's
were
the
so
same
good.
thing with Barry Sanders.
you
That's like
guys
saying, what
were-
did Barry Sanders do for Detroit? Jason can tell you, but
what
you're
do
just
I
like
have to
completely-
respect
you
from
are-
Saquon Barkley? What did he do to the New
so
York
so
Giants?
so a guy who puts in hours and hours and goes out and performs for you, you're just going to completely say that he does nothing for you.
I
He
got
doesn't do
Packers
anything?
versus the Eagles.
I love when I actually like bring stuff to you and you just like change the subject.
wow.
We'll save the Giants talk.
Like
on.
that's
When
like
we get to-
okay, hold
when
on.
we
That's
get
like
to the
Jalen.
Giants-
No.
when
That's
we
like
get to the
Jalen Brunson
Giants-
in a couple of years leaving New York, and then you're like, what did he do for New York? Like you're just gonna completely disregard.
What did
everything
he
he's
do for
done
New York?
before.
He made New York relevant again.
But he's saying that when he does leave, and if you say that, you're gonna
No,
look like a
I'm
fool.
not going to do that.
I'm
I'm
you're
not gonna
doing it
do
right
that.
now to Saquon. You're like
Because
I
what
can
did
go
he
and
do
look at.
for New York? What did he do?
So
I mean,
so
we could-
so
I
so
mean,
he
we
didn't
could
carry you
bring
guys
up-
to the playoffs and give you a playoff win. Like he didn't contribute to that. He wasn't like the main guy that did that.
Of course, he's the main guy.
So then by default he didn't do nothing.
Our defense wasn't trash that year either.
We're talking about Saquon.
Just Saquon Barkley. That's what we're
Barkley.
talking about.
Look
That's
at
about
his
the
stats.
team.
You guys
That's
were
about the
shoulders deep in mud with him. Okay, you guys are
I mean,
still garbage,
no, what
and now you're
happened-
fully submerged.
What
Okay,
happened? What happened was the Giants chose not to pay him. That's what happened.
they probably felt bad.
Instead, decided to give it to someone that, let's be honest, doesn't even deserve Geno Smith contract money.
Geno Smith.
That's what we're talking about.
Deserved Geno Smith money. He deserves.
He didn't even deserve that, bro. Like Geno Smith has put up that better numbers in the last 2 years than any
Look
top 2 years that Daniel Jones actually had statistically for himself. The top 2 years compared to the last 2 years of Geno Smith. And this man didn't get a $40 million contract for 4 years. This man stole $40 million for the next 4 years, except for the last 2 years coming up because none of it is guaranteed. He stole that money. But
I don't think he disagrees with that.
but what I'm saying is Saquon Barkley actually earned his money that the Giants refused to give him.
Hear
So
me
the
out
Eagles
here.
gave him 3 years for $36 million.
He's
Here-
behind one of
just
the
hold up.
worst
Hear me
offense.
out
He's
here.
behind one of the worst offensive lines, and he's still putting
you
up.
don't need to tell me this. I
numbers.
see it every
So then,
year.
how are you saying?
why are you
How can
saying-
you
Let
be
me finish
ignorant to the-
this.
No, how
Let me
can you be?
finish.
How can you be ignorant to say what has he done for us?
What has he
when
done?
he has put up?
I want wins,
put up-
bro. I
he's
want
put up-
wins. I don't
How is
care
that a
about
running?
your
How is that on a
static.
running back? So
Stats.
so
I don't
so then,
care.
what about, so will you say the same for Barry Sanders? What has he done? Because he was on a
Barry
losing
Sanders
team.
is different. He's one of the best ever.
But he didn't do anything.
Saquon
But you're not.
Barkley's not
you're
the best
connecting-
ever.
You're
Well,
not connecting what I'm saying. You are saying, oh, what has Saquon Barkley
I
done
can't
because he
see
didn't
those
contribute
stats
to
either.
wins?
Hold on, let me go full screen.
He's had 3 1,000-yard seasons. He's averaging just about 4 yards per game. He has obviously rushing touchdowns behind one of, if not the worst offensive
the
line
worst offensive line.
in years.
I'm not going to discredit
He had
Our
1,300
Saquon Barkley as a
yards, he
player.
had over
Listen.
double-digit touchdowns, and carried you to a playoff win, and you're just completely discrediting
Listen,
that. Like
I'm not
He
going to
was hurt
feed
last year, right?
I'm not going to feed Philadelphia Eagles fans egos. And
No, this is your
everybody,
ego. This
everybody
is your
throwing
ego.
digs at the New York Giants because they paid
just
Daniel
stop being
Jones.
a hater. Just
Listen,
stop- be like, look,
listen.
like,
Let
stop
me
being-
finish. Let me finish.
This is ridiculous.
We're not going to pay Saquon because we need more than a running back. We need more than a running back. We need more than a QB. We need more than everything to win, to be able to compete. We're not catching the Eagles anytime soon. We're not catching the Dallas Cowboys anytime soon. We need more than a running back. Why pay Saquon Barkley
No one's talking about
$14+ million a year? Why? When we have to
not-
spend it in other
That's
places.
not what I'm talking about. Now, my dad might have brought it up, but that's not what I'm talking about. You're completely discrediting what he has done for New York.
Saquon
behind
did
one
good
of
for the
worst
Giants. I'm not
So
going to
then,
argue
okay,
what his stats are,
You
man.
just did. You just
What do
said,
you
what
want
has
me
he
to
done
say?
for New
He's
York?
trash.
What has he done
Yo,
for New York?
Yo, Saquon's a trash player. You want me to say that? Saquon's not
Give him
trash.
some
You
credit. It's
basically
literally no different than what Jalen Brunson
I
is
said,
doing
what has
for
he
you.
done for the Giants?
You need to.
He carried you to to the playoffs and won a game.
It's no different.
There you go. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler.
But
he
He's
doesn't
had like
touch the
4
ball- he doesn't
seasons
touch
with
the ball every
double-digit
play.
touchdowns.
He doesn't touch the ball every play.
There's no different than what
What
Jalen
are we
Brunson
ta-
has
what are
done.
you?
He
You are a
carried you-
hater.
What's
You're
this?
actually
No.
a hater.
I like
This is crazy.
Saquon. You know I like Saquon.
Yes.
J-
So
J-
hearing
Jalen-
this out of your mouth is just blasphemous right now. Like, what has
J-
he done? What has he done?
J-
Look at the numbers and tell me,
Listen,
oh, he's
Jalen-
done nothing. What about
Listen,
those
Jalen-
bench players that you can't even name?
Jalen
Those
Brunson-
guys
I-
haven't
I
done
can name-
anything.
I can name every bench player.
Jalen Brunson just brought
Name
you
the
to
fourth
the
string.
playoffs,
Name the
right?
practice
Hold
squad.
on, hold
running
on,
back.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Let that
Jalen,
hook.
Jalen Brunson brought you to the playoffs. What I gotta say is, what has he done for you lately? What has he done? He hasn't done anything either.
Took a pay cut. Showed
What does
that
that
he
have to do with the
took a
player
pay cut,
playing for
showed
you?
he wanted to be here.
No, what?
has he
Showed that
done?
he wanted
hold
to
on,
be
hold on.
here.
Was Saquon Barkley ever the highest paid running back?
No.
Did
No.
you guys give him that contract? Oh, so yeah, he took that pay cut.
Well, wait,
now what do you
wait.
got to say?
He was the
Now what do you got
highest
to
paid.
say?
He was the highest paid rookie running back
On a
to come out of
franchise
draft.
tag, 1 year.
No,
Try
to
again.
come out of a draft.
Try again.
We made him the
franchise
highest
tag.
paid running back to come out of a draft.
Out of the draft, a rookie contract, not no
Yeah, which
Christian
the money
McCaffrey,
goes
$50
up.
million a year.
The money goes up every year based on where you're drafted.
I'm not going to
You're
deny
making no
Saquon.
sense.
What-
You're being
what-
a hater right now.
I think
because he went to Philly.
I'm glad
That's
Saquon
what
went
it
to
is.
Philly because that's what Philly needed. Philly needed the top running back.
Well,
I'm
to
cool with you
2013.
saying that, but you're not going to sit here and say he's done nothing for New York. That's
No,
not what you're going to say.
He's done more than nothing.
So
he-
then say that.
You just said, what has he
said
done? You said,
nothing.
what, that implies that he's done nothing. You
said
said, what has he
I
done?
want you to go back and listen to yourself because now you're saying he hasn't said nothing. He didn't do nothing.
listen, if
but
Sa-
then
if-
you want to start.
If
and say, yeah, he
Saquon
did
stayed
nothing.
on the Giants, the Giants
don't
would
be
still be
ignorant.
shit.
This is
All right?
crazy. I thought I'd
Like-
be the last person like having a this disagreement right
Can-
now.
but
I
I wanna
really
be-
thought it was
I
going to
wanna-
be Jack and Keith going
Listen,
at it.
I want to
but
be able
like,
to talk
here I
about
am
the
again.
Giants versus the Vikings
Oh my
when it
God.
comes up. I don't want to waste everybody's time talking about
Can't
Saquon
stand ignorant statements.
we're gonna
God, please give me
because then
All right.
we'll skip the Giants versus Vikings and I won't get my take
Next
in.
topic.
listen. I
Topic.
got the Eagles over the Packers. That's all I can say.
Same.
What do you?
Oh, is that what we were talking about?
I forgot
That's
what
what we were talking about originally. I'm just gonna move on and say I got the Eagles over the Packers.
I got Eagles
got
by
Eagles.
20.
I got Eagles by a touchdown.
I got
I got Eagles over the Packers just because I want the Packers to lose for Jason.
I got
I
Eagles.
got
over
the Eagles,
Packers.
and I hope Saquon Barkley has 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I actually have Saquon over the Packers, not Eagles over the Packers. So
Listen. Eagles
All
are going to
this-
dominate the Packers.
All this Jordan Love talk is driving me absolutely out of my mind. So yes, I got Eagles over the
He's
Packers.
the next Aaron Rodgers.
Eagles
Oh.
are the more complete
He's gonna
team.
lose his mind.
So we're gonna move on to the Sunday night game, which is actually gonna be the Lions versus the Rams. Zachary, the best thing about the Lions versus the Rams for me is that Aaron Donald is no longer going to be playing. That is the best news I have heard. This is coming from a Seahawks fan out of the NFC West.
Yeah,
For the last 10 years, that man has been a torture.
now teams
Okay,
gotta
and a
deal with Chris
nightmare
Jones
for
and
us.
freaking
Okay, so that is the best
Trevor
thing
Lawrence.
for me. That's the best thing. But you know what, Jason? I'm gonna leave the floor to you regarding the Lions and the Rams because I know that they ended up signing their wide receiver 4-year, 120. He's getting Tyreek Hill money. Is what he's getting nowadays. You got Jared Goff who got paid as well, 4 years, $53 million per year. They got Sam Laporta, a rookie. They'll be starting his 2nd year. Who I actually have on my fantasy team. So Aiden Hutchinson leading the defense. So you know what, Jason? I know you have a grin from ear to ear. So you go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Thank you.
Jason, is this Matthew Stafford part 2? Is this the second time you're playing him?
Yes, this is the second time he's coming home for the second time, 2 years in a row. That crowd. If you watch the one and only Lions preseason game, in a preseason game they caused 3 false starts. In a preseason game, the crowd did. So I can only imagine what that stadium is going to be like.
We know what it's like.
Yeah.
We've been there, so we know how loud it gets.
Yep.
Seattle knows what that's like.
12th man. Yeah, I got you.
Great feeling. Great feeling seeing that.
It is. It is. Unfortunately, their tickets have gotten way too pricey, so I will not be attending. But
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the
Welcome
club.
to the club of winning teams. That's just
Yeah.
what
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
Seattle wins.
No, shut up, be quiet. Shut up, be quiet. He said
So-
winning teams. He said winning teams. Please be quiet.
I know the Giants would have ran the ball at the goal line. That's all I
Oh
know.
my god.
Oh,
All I know is that
I can't disagree. I can't disagree.
I'm not even gonna disagree. All I know is that if I want to see the Seahawks and buy the cheapest tickets, I always wait for the Giants to play.
Hey,
The
Cheddar.
Seahawks to play the Giants at MetLife.
Chet, I got a question.
what's up?
Would they have ran it with Saquon?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. Didn't the Seahawks play the Giants last year?
Yes,
Yeah,
actually,
didn't
we
Seahawks
didn't the
beat the
Seahawks
Giants.
have
we went
Wait,
to that
Dude,
game.
we're not
Didn't-
talking about the Giants beating the
No, hold on.
Seahawks.
Didn't the
That's not what
Seahawks
I'm
have-
saying.
Didn't the Seahawks have the most sacks
11.
This guy.
in NFL history?
And we
No,
have one of
no,
the worst
Against the
defensive
Giants in a
lines.
single game?
Okay.
And
Am I-
one of the worst defensive
Hey,
lines.
It's
Yeah.
Jason's turn.
Yeah, no, let Jason talk. This is about the lines. It's about the lines, people.
We're not talking about the Giants yet.
No, we're done
God,
talking
we're-
about the Giants. We're
No,
done.
No, I'm talking about the Giants versus
We're
Vikings.
talking about the Detroit Lions right now. Okay, this is
Sunday
gonna be-
night game.
This is gonna be Thanksgiving for them this entire season, every day. Go ahead, my friend.
all right.
Like,
So I'm glad you did bring up Aaron Darnold because
And,
if you watch some of those games, especially the ones against the Lions, Penei Sewell pretty much bodied that man, and they even got into a scuffle, and Penei Sewell was just holding him by one hand, just holding him back. So I will say that we got one hell of a right tackle. But anyways, I think the Lions have greatly improved their defense, which is where they needed to be. They had a really good up front, but their secondary, let's be honest, was probably second or if not worse, the worst secondary in the entire NFL. So they've greatly improved on that. And, Jared Goff, he's still got something to prove, I think. He's going to go out there and he's going to sling the ball. They're going to do a bunch of RPO and dink and dunk and do a little bit of Tom Brady, but with our running backs, we got a 1-2 punch with our running backs too. So I'm looking forward to it.
The only thing, like I said before, is I know Coach Dan Campbell loves going for it. It really doesn't matter what position or where he is on the field. He loves going for it. And my biggest fear is that it's going to catch up to him. It's not easy to try to convert fourth down, especially in situations where you usually try to punt it, get back possession of the ball. But I think this year, I think it's going to cost him a game, maybe even two, when he should actually punt it instead of going for it. But that's what Dan Campbell, that's his style, and everybody bought into it. You know, somebody buys into it, you good.
I get why you'd say that, but I think, and it's not necessarily because I noticed it in preseason where he's like trying to give other guys a chance. I noticed how, yes, he's going to stay aggressive. He's going to take chances, but I think he realized that in certain situations, he may be kicking that field goal. He may be punting because we got a punter that can flip the field in Jack Fox. But we also now, and we didn't have this last year. Now this is a big reason why he took so many chances last year. We didn't have a kicker that could really kick over 45 yards last year. Now we do. We got a kicker that can kick 64 yards.
I mean, they should have been in the Super Bowl last year, being up by double digits, two scores in the second half,
and their secondary let them down.
And I believe there was a play. I think he went for it. I don't think he made it. He could have punted it. I forget which possession it was, somewhere in the second half. I'm not gonna sit here and say that fourth down actually costed them the game, because you were up by two possessions, and they should have won. They were dominating the first half, and they just couldn't hang on to it. The secondary just gave up on them for whatever the reason it was. Secondary wasn't there in the second half.
In that NFC Championship game, I think there was a couple factors. One, that's probably one of them. Two, the secondary was, like I said, just not that good. It was really bad secondary. And I'm not going to, because this young man was great for us for the entirety of the season, except for this one game when Josh Reynolds he kept dropping passes.
Oh,
that surefire touchdown that he dropped it, and he was great for us through the entirety of the season until that game. And they wanted to bring him back. They actually offered him a contract. He wanted to go elsewhere. So
try to make the most you can, but at the end of the day, we'll see exactly how the Lions will go, because we're gonna get into on our next topic. We're gonna be talking about who's gonna predictions for our divisions. But in this game, Jason, who do you have besides the Rams? Same question to you as I did to him. So
that's cool. I say Lions by 4.
By 4, Cheddar.
I got Lions by 7 or 10.
Hey guys, Keith or Zach, who do you guys have?
I got the Lions, and the one thing I just wanted to add to going forward on the fourth downs is I think that just kind of instills like confidence in your team, that like you trust them. And I think the players respond well to that, because you see a lot of times when they come off of the field on fourth down, like I want to go for it. So when your coach is like, I trust you, go convert the fourth down, I think that brings that confidence to your team, that you trust them. I just wanted to quickly add that.
And the Lions, by the way, have a top 5 special teams coach in the entirety of the NFL. So Dan Campbell does have a lot of trust in our special teams coach.
There was some high school coach, I don't remember who he is, but he says statistically your chances are better going for it on fourth down.
I've heard that.
Yeah, and that's all he does. He goes on, he never punts. But I mean, obviously that's not how it is in the NFL, but I'm going with Lions by 10 in that game.
Jack?
I have Lions winning 24-13.
I'm gonna take the Lions by double digits. I just don't see the Rams defense stopping this offense. I just don't see it happening.
Lions with the first sweep out of all of our picks.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, Jason, by the way, for some reason, Xavier Howard's still available. So if you want a corner that can help you, I don't know why he's not signed yet.
He wants a
We-
lot of money.
We have talked about this, and yeah, that's the reason. Probably
He wants a lot of money.
he's probably not a Dan Campbell guy. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's 31 years old.
Yeah, he probably
he
just
should be
doesn't want to
calming
show.
down.
He doesn't want to show up every day and work.
I mean, we tried that experiment with is it CJ Garner Johnson?
Yo,
He was a very expressive young man, but
Didn't he go back to the Eagles?
he went back to the Eagles.
Back to
Yes,
That's what I figured. Okay. All right.
and he's
Seems like
still
a good guy.
and he's still running his mouth.
Jeez.
We know what that's
Well-
like too.
I'm not sure which is going to be the most anticipated game. Ravens at the Chiefs or the Monday night game. Jets
it's
against
Giants
the
versus
49ers
Vikings.
at 49ers.
Giants versus Vikings.
Obviously,
It's the Chiefs.
I
It's the Chiefs.
true.
'Cause they
But
beat us last year.
Ayuk got his contract 4 years, 120.
That's a big pickup.
And then they ended up renegotiating the last 3 years of Trent Williams' contract because his last 3 remaining years had zero guaranteed money. So I believe just yesterday, this coming year, he's going to be paid, I think, 28 or 29 million, along whatever it is that they agreed on. But that's for this coming year. So they're lucky. They probably arguably have the best left tackle right now in football.
Yeah.
But this is going to be more of Aaron Rodgers coming back more than anything else. I know the hoopla,
Ooh.
the 49ers
Oh,
just finishing off a Super Bowl appearance, but I think it's going to be more of Aaron Rodgers coming back. How is he going to settle in? Is he going to play more than 75 seconds?
get past the 50.
We still have the defensive end of the Jets, Hassan Reddick, holding out. He has 1 year left.
Yeah.
And when they actually traded for him from the Eagles, they traded him because they knew he's going to have a year left, and the Eagles didn't want to give him an extension. The Jets knew this, and they still won't give him an extension, and he's still holding out. But at the end of the day, though, I'm just curious, why and who do you guys have for this coming game?
JETS suck. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I take it, Keith, you're saying the 49ers, correct?
I will never pick the Jets. I don't care who they're playing.
Wow.
Can't stand them. Hate them.
Zach?
I think that the Niners are going to win a high scoring game just because Aaron Rodgers just can never beat the 49ers, and they always seem to just have those high scoring games. I'm going Niners.
Jason.
High-scoring game.
So, I guess kind of I'm piggyback on the kind of what Keith was saying, and the fact that I will never ever in my life root for Aaron Rodgers, ever.
I wonder why.
So,
Kind of wants him to rupture his other Achilles.
so I'm picking the 49ers.
50?
I'm picking the 49ers by 2 scores. 2 scores.
2 scores. Wow. That's pretty close, not gonna lie.
Go ahead.
I have the 49ers winning 33-14. I just think they're a better overall
There you go.
team. Offense is a better team. I think their defense is way better. That's just me.
I have not the Jets. I have the 49ers winning by at least 17 or 15 points. At least.
Wow. Are we kidding?
I
think
think
the
Aaron
Jets are gonna
Rodgers
score.
is not going to pass the 50-yard line for the second consecutive season. Let's just say that.
Wow.
I don't know about
Okay.
that.
I don't know. Wow. Oh
That's
my.
wild.
Even I know my limits. Okay. So
Aaron
So-
Rodgers is a bum.
I'm not going to get it.
wow. So last year the Jets were 3rd overall in defense. They allowed less than 21 points a game. They were 2nd in passing defense. The only thing is that they allowed 124 yards rushing. I think they're going to be better than that. They were in the bottom third, but the top of the bottom third in defense. If that makes, even if they improve, I know they got Christian McCaffrey. He is still a bit injured, but I think they say questionable, but he's gonna be back. I'm gonna be honest. I've got the Jets over the 49ers.
Dude's trying to be.
Is it in New York or in
No.
San Fran?
It's at San Fran
It's in San Francisco. Yeah.
or Santa Clara to be exact.
No, why?
Why? Because
He's
again,
on his fantasy team.
they're not. Their defense, their defense was second in passing, third overall. Okay, and only allowed less than 21 points. I'm gonna take that passing defense, and I think they'll be able to contain Christian McCaffrey. And I think they're gonna.
Wait,
I
you're
swear
going
passing
Jets?
defense. I don't.
Yeah,
think
I'm just saying. I'm not saying.
I mean, I
didn't-
respect it.
I didn't say they're gonna stop him. I just need him. The defense just wants to contain him. Listen,
Who's ever contained McCaffrey?
listen, he can still get. Listen, he can get 100 yards rushing and he can get 100 yards passing as long as they're able to contain him and not let him get into the end zone as much. I think they have the defense to do it, and I think that Aaron Rodgers is gonna come out and light it up on the 49ers, and I've got the Jets over the 49ers on day one.
Like, what up? His Achilles? No, I'm kidding.
Wow, guys! Wow.
Nah, he's gonna
I
light
mean,
up
let-
that. He's gonna
let-
light up his shroom.
I
drink that he
I mean-
drinks.
Look, let's not act like the season before he got hurt, he wasn't the MVP. Okay, like it's still Aaron Rodgers, and I'm gonna at least put respect on him as a quarterback. Okay, so that's why I think
him
it's
as a
still gonna be a
person
high
is
scoring
trash.
game.
The
Like,
trash
let's
person.
just not act like he can't play.
That's
Trash
true.
person.
That is true.
He's just got to play.
That is true.
That's all it is. So I guess I will be the only lone Jet to take them over the 49ers. That's fine.
crazy.
Kirby Joseph might have something to say about how good Aaron Rodgers is. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave that.
Who is?
Kirby Joseph,
Well,
interception machine.
Well, I'll be the only one. That's fine. I've always been
So,
the underdog, so I'm okay with that.
Lonesome Dove.
I wouldn't be
I have a
surprised
question.
though if they do win. I'll put that out there right now.
I have a question. So, who do you think out of all the games this week, who do you think is the upset that who is most likely to upset somebody? Out of
I'll
all
go
the
with
games
my
this week?
Jets over the 49ers.
Yeah,
I would go.
Jets.
I'm gonna go Commanders over Tampa Bay.
Let me look at all of them.
So we're picking the biggest upset. Is that what we're
Yeah.
doing?
If you were to pick an upset, who do you think would win? Like your biggest upset? I think Commanders over the Bucks.
I don't think.
I don't mean to put you guys on the
I'm
spot.
I'm
there.
picking the Cardinals over the Bills.
I was
Okay.
thinking that too.
That's
I
respectable.
was thinking that. I wouldn't be surprised at that.
Colts over the Texans.
I mean Broncos over Seattle. Bo Nix lighting it up. You never know.
You never
That's
know.
bound to happen.
They're the
I don't know.
biggest. This Broncos are the biggest underdogs this week. With
I would say the
-6.
Falcons over the Steelers.
Okay.
Falcons over Steelers.
Okay.
That's mine.
What are you guys going over there with? Keith and Zach?
What are you going with, Keith?
I'm saying Cardinals over the Bills.
Oh, okay.
Either the Cardinals or the Jets. I would probably lean Cardinals more likely.
But I mean, these are upsets. You know,
Yeah,
obviously it's, you gotta throw it out there.
Yep. Yeah, just throw a bone.
All right. So, as far as picking the worst upset of the week, we're gonna go and dive right in in regards to our prediction who's gonna win the division and who's gonna be the wild card for each in the AFC and NFC. So I'm gonna let Keith and Zach over there can actually start, and we'll start with the AFC East. I know it's a dumb question for Keith, but I'll see if he's actually gonna be a bit more reasonable. So go ahead, guys. You guys can go.
For the AFC East, I got Dolphins.
Same.
Who's your wild card?
Well, as far as you, or how about this? Just pick your 4 divisional winners right off the rip.
I didn't really look into this. If we go one by one, then yeah, I can give it. But I
Yeah,
think that the
We'll go one by one.
the Dolphins will win the division, and I think either the Jets or the Bills will make the wild card. That's as much as I
No,
can
wild
give.
card to win the division, to win
I
that
think
division.
Dolphins to win the division.
Oh, I
and
I
then
thought you were thinking like
Jets or
wild
the
card just
Bills.
overall. Sorry.
Jets or one of them will make the wild card, if not both.
Miami will win the division. I'm gonna say that the Patriots are gonna get that wild card.
Okay.
I just have a feeling that they looked good in the preseason so
What is
far.
going on here?
The
today,
preseason
people?
with
What
the
is
with the
going
bench
on?
with the
What is-
bench in.
what is
All right,
going on?
I'm gonna
It's
go.
my opinion,
I'm gonna
Your opinion's
go.
wrong.
I'm going.
and so
Buffalo
is in yours
Bills.
about a lot of things, but we won't go there.
I'm going.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Jared.
I'm going Miami Dolphins winning the AFC East and Buffalo Bills the wild card.
Jason, who do you have for the AFC East over there? And if any wild card?
Mm. Let's go. All right, somebody else go. I'm trying to pull something up real quick.
All right. Until they get beaten, until they can play in the snow, until they can play nicely and know how to throw snowballs, as long as they know how to learn how to make a snowman, I'm sticking with the Buffalo Bills. That's who I have winning the division right now. I believe I don't figure what is it, the last 4 years, I believe they've won the division. So until somebody knocks them down, I'm going to continue to go with them. I know everybody's talking about Stephon Diggs gone, but that kid, Keon Coleman out of Florida State, though, I think that kid is going to be a baller at wide receiver. And I believe at the end of the day, he is and will end up being the number 1 wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, that's
Sorry, guys. I wanted to pull this up so that
there
so
you
that we
go.
can all see. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was
no,
trying
that's
to-
fine. Okay, so here's the thing. I've got the Buffalo Bills in the East. And coming as a wild card, I know earlier on I didn't say this, but I'm going to change my mind. The wild card that's going to come out of the AFC East is going to be the Jets.
That's
I'm
crazy because I have those
leaning
two.
Jets too.
I have those two as like what you picked. I have the Bills.
Yeah.
I have the Bills winning the division, and then the Jets making the wild card.
I don't have
No,
the
no.
Dolphins or the Patriots making the playoffs.
Like I said,
And
I just don't.
that's not a get back at Uncle
The
Keith.
Jets
It's
will
not.
jet.
I really don't think the Dolphins will
I've,
pull it
I've
out,
said it. I've said it
And-
earlier about
and
the
you're
Dolphins.
wrong.
especially with the weatherman.
And you're wrong.
I've said it before about the Dolphins. I believe last year I had them picking the division. They had a really soft schedule last year. They only played 6 games over 5 teams over 500. They were 1-5. Tua and Tyreek Hill were no shows. They didn't pass for over 300. They didn't receive for over 100. This year they're playing 10 games against teams over 500. 6 made the playoffs. I'm
And
sorry,
so
5
isn't
made the
Buffalo.
playoffs.
Yeah,
2
so
won the
Buffalo.
division. 1 went to the Super Bowl. And until they can show up, at this point, they're not even an elite team. And until they show up, at best, it's a wild card, which they're not going to make this year.
Yeah. And I think the weather, like the weather,
And the weather.
I think the weather condition plays a huge role in football. I mean,
For the Dolphins, it does.
for Dolphins, 100%
Oh, no,
because
that's a
you're
given.
only playing in the sun,
Yeah,
so you could
yeah.
you could play sweaty. Like I'll give you that. You
I
could
mean-
play
I mean,
drenched in sweat.
the Dolphin fans don't even know what a snowman is.
Yeah, but if
be honest
you
with
can't
you.
throw a football with your hands not being able to move, like that's on you.
Do you
And
guys think that every player on that team is from Florida?
Well,
you don't think
I mean,
they've ever
I
played
think
in
they
snow?
are accommodated to playing in
the
Florida. So
quarterbacks-
yes,
For some reason.
the main guy on your team who's throwing the football to others? Yes.
I it's just for some reason it's as a team when they wear that uniform and they have to go out in the cold at the time when they're supposed to step up, which is usually in the latter part of the season and postseason,
they fail.
they're like the
I mean, I'm a-
movie.
I mean, I'm gonna be
Frozen.
honest. I mean, they've been making the playoffs though. Like,
Yes,
not
I'm
every
not
game
gonna-
is gonna be not every game's gonna be a snow game. Like you guys make it seem like
Not every game's going to
like-
be negative
like
30 degrees.
Like all their away games are gonna be like.
Well, I mean, if you're
Against the
going into the
Chiefs,
playoffs,
negative
it's
degree weather.
that weather's gonna tumble. I mean, it's not gonna be
not if you win a division and you win home game. You have playoff
Well,
games at home.
The thing was,
and that's not,
this
and,
was-
I,
this was
and I don't
about
think they are.
This was about
Alright,
the
you're
regular
wrong.
season, not the playoffs. Like I'm talking
Yeah.
about regular season, not every game. And like the start of the season, like it's warmer weather. So I feel like you guys are kind of over this cold weather because not every single away game.
I'm just
going to
basing
be-
on the fact that their schedule is actually the weather plays a
The
factor.
Bills play the
Their-
same teams. I'm just going to throw that out there too. Okay, like if you look at their schedules, it's pretty much the same. I'm
Yeah,
just going to throw it out there.
yeah,
So
but
I'm
I just
factoring
don't-
that in too.
Yeah, I still think the Bills and the Jets.
That's fine. I'm just throwing it out there because it just seems like you guys are just not really looking at everything.
Moving on.
No,
Moving on.
So in the AFC North, who do you guys have, or any wild cards coming out of there?
I'll go. I have the Baltimore Ravens winning the AFC North and wild card Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh,
Okay,
I got Pittsburgh, and the wild card is Baltimore.
I got Pittsburgh, wild card, Baltimore, actually.
I think I'm leaning Ravens division and.
What's your
Bengals.
guys' point of us
Healthy
Pittsburgh winning the
wild card.
division? You think Pittsburgh's that good?
I think Mike Tomlin's that good.
Yeah,
I
Mike
think
Tomlin.
I think the addition of Russell Wilson is just going to
Okay.
put them over.
Fair.
I
They
have
three
the
starting
Steel-
quarterbacks.
I have the Steelers winning the division, and I have the Baltimore Ravens as the
Put it
wild
this
card.
way: all their quarterbers are better than your one quarterback that you have starting.
Daniel Jones. I say this all the time. Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback in the NFL. Every single. You're talking to the wrong Giants fan. The Giants fan you need to talk to is Tigo.
that's
I'm just
fun.
saying. You asked why. I'm giving you my reason why because they're
Because I think Russell's falling off, but
Bro, what?
what?
Based off of
that's just
what?
my opinion.
Oh, for
Based
what?
on what?
But I
played
thought
on
it
a
was-
he played on a
Well,
terrible
we gotta go. We
Broncos
gotta
team
continue
last
here.
year. And, okay.
I've got the Steelers
No, don't
and
make
the
a
Ravens.
statement if you can't back it up.
No. I'll take care of this one.
I'm not gonna say he's trash. I'm just saying I think he's falling off.
Okay, no,
He's
why?
he's starting to
Hold on,
drop.
hold on,
But
hold on.
This
based
is
off
the year.
of what?
Why?
I think this is the year he's gonna start to drop off.
Why?
That's all. Age.
Why?
That's all.
So if he
based on-
does better than Kenny Pickett, that's a fall off for him.
No, that's not a fall off.
So a fall off is saying he's
Hit
gonna play
Russell
Kenny
standards.
Pickett.
What he usually does.
He doesn't. Here's the thing about it. He's people look. The Steelers, all they needed was a quarterback. All Russell Wilson has to do is what he did last year with the Denver Broncos. That's all he has. He has to duplicate exactly what he did with Denver,
Yeah.
and it is a huge upgrade for what the Steelers had in the last 2 years. When you
And
when you have thrown touchdown passes in 2 years less than Russell Wilson threw just last year alone. And by the way, Russell Wilson, I believe, had the best touchdown.
26 and
ratio.
8. 26 touchdowns,
26
8
and 8.
interceptions.
Yeah.
Right.
With
That's
probably
all
one of
I'm
the,
not saying he's
the worst
trash.
coaches in the NFL.
But you keep saying
I'm not saying he's trash.
I didn't say
I
he was
said
trash.
I expect him to fall off a little bit. That's my prediction. It's my opinion.
Why would
That's
he
all.
fall off on a better team?
I don't know. I'm just saying
So-
age. I don't know.
But fall off like okay, let's like break it down. Like
I'm
fall
not saying
off
he's gonna
with
become
what?
shit.
Because like he threw
I
for
think his-
3,026 and 8. Like, are
I
you
think
saying
that
worse
drops.
numbers?
I think that drops a little bit in yards.
So he's under 3. He's never been under 3 in his career.
Never.
It's just a prediction, man.
That's
I
a
just
pretty-
want you to like
It's not.
explain
It's
your
nothing
opinion.
against Russell Wilson. I don't think they are going to be that good to
Okay.
win that division.
So all right,
between
so
the
he
Ravens and
hasn't thrown under 3. He's on a better team. And you think he has a better head coach, and you think he's gonna decline? I don't get that.
Like he's not gonna be MVP Russell Wilson, but like I think he's gonna be an average.
Yeah, he'll be
quarterback, like,
average.
Is what he's been.
He'll
So
be
I don't
average.
see the fall off in an average quarterback.
He's going to be enough to make them win that division.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
Alright,
going to
on to the
disagree with
next.
you
and
guys.
I agree with that.
So, put it this anyway. So moving on to the AFC South, I have Houston, and no one else coming out of there for the wild card. I'll leave it at that.
Oh,
Just straightforward.
Didn't you pick Indiana last podcast? I could be wrong.
Yeah, I
Who?
think he did.
Indianapolis.
I'm asking, did you have
did.
Indianapolis last
mean,
time we did
yeah,
this?
He did.
Well, no,
I'm just-
not for the division. If
Yeah,
I
for
may
a
have
wild
had it
card.
for the wild card, but this is my final right before the
Okay,
season.
no, I was just
If we-
asking.
Yeah,
Alright.
no, I don't think I had Indianapolis winning the division.
So-
Wild card, maybe I did, but
So I'm gonna go Houston Texans, no wild card, and I think the Houston Texans are gonna have the best record in the AFC.
I respect that. I would lean Texans too, and if there is a wild card team, I would lean Indianapolis.
That's what I would lean to if there was a wild
Because
card.
I don't have a set like these are my 3 wild cards.
I think if Richardson stays healthy, they're the ones to give him a run for their money, but probably Houston.
I say Houston.
I love the Texans. I love what they're doing with that team. I love the head coach, but I think the Colts are going to win that division.
I respect that.
No wild card.
If I let me see.
You have 3.
I still don't think Trevor Lawrence has enough help.
Yeah, honestly,
around him
I
to do
think-
anything.
I don't know, man. I think the Chargers might get that wild card spot. So I'm gonna go with no wild card for that. Just the Colts winning it.
Okay.
All right.
So it's pretty consensus. Everyone Houston except for Jack going with the Indianapolis Colts.
Actually, no. I rephrase that. I have the Colts winning that division, and the Texans getting a wild card.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
yeah. And then for the next one, I'll go first since I'm already talking. I have the Chiefs winning that, and then no wild card.
Mm.
That's mine.
Go ahead, Cheddar.
Oh, me. Sorry. I'm gonna have the Chiefs winning the AFC West. I'm not going a wild card, but if there was, it would be. I would probably go. Shoot, I would go. Screw it. I'll go Denver.
I would go Chiefs to win it, and then I think Jim Harbaugh is a really good coach. I think they could make a wild card spot.
Yeah, I think he's a really good coach too, but their defense is issue.
Uncle Keith.
Chiefs, like Zach said, probably Chargers. I think Harbaugh will get what's Herbert. I think he'll get him to play and probably better than he does. So
Jason,
I say Chiefs with the Chargers trailing.
I'm just going to take the Chiefs, and the Chargers will be making the wild card. So my 3 wild card teams for next year is going to be for this coming year: the Ravens, the Chargers, and the Jets.
now who's your guys' first seed, number 1 seed in the AFC?
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
All right, I'm going Houston.
Chiefs. But it's gonna be close.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
close.
It's going to be close. It's Houston or the Chiefs.
I think it's gonna be Houston or I could see Baltimore because I think they were the number 1 seed last year.
That's respectable too.
But
We'll go against the grain and say Miami.
Okay.
I respect that.
I mean,
thought you were gonna say
Miami was
Jets.
they were headed for number 1 until the last two
The collapse.
games of the year.
A collapse.
Didn't they lose like 4 or something like that?
I'm saying
Or
this
last
year
time.
they're going to pull it off. So I'm going Miami.
This is
Okay.
Miami's year. They gotta do something with this. They have the team to do it.
It's true. All right.
Get them a
NFC
winner
North.
code for that one. Well,
Dad, I want you to start.
for which one? The NFC East?
Because the North, because I remember who you picked last time. I want to see if it's the same.
Oh, you want me to go with the NFC North?
Yes, just go in that order of the picture.
The-
Oh, because I was gonna go East, North, South, and West like the
no,
AFC.
North.
No,
go
North.
in that order.
All right, I still got the Bears. I still have the Bears, and the Lions coming out of there as the wild card. I still have the Bears.
Bears. Okay.
Yes, I do.
He did stay with
Can I tell you why you're wrong?
Please feel free to do so.
Can I do my
I think
pick
we all
first?
know why.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll go last. Go
Or,
ahead.
no, wait, Jack, you first, then me. Sorry.
Okay. I think this one is a no-brainer. I think the Lions are going to win by a pretty wide margin. I think this is going to be one of their best years. And then I have, honestly, and then I have the Bears as the wild card.
All right. See, now me. This is I'm gonna go Detroit winning the NFC North, And I'm going to have 2 wild cards coming out of this division. I'm going to have the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers coming out of this division.
I think the Lions are gonna win. It's either gonna be the Bears or Green Bay. One of them, I think, will make the wild card. I would lean Chicago. I like what they've done, but I think they would be like that 7th seed.
Who you got there, Keith?
I'm going Lions. Green Bay
Green Bay.
wild card.
And then who? Jason, right?
Jason.
All right. So Lions, they're going to win the division. I'll say Chicago will be the wild card. But here's the thing about the Lions' schedule that helps them out so greatly. They only have 3 outdoor games this entire season. Every other game is in a dome.
That's
And
crazy.
we all know Jared Goff plays best in a dome. So the only game that I'm really worried about as far as like an outdoor environment is week 16 at Chicago. Every other game that they have that is outdoors is week 9 at Green Bay. So that's November. It's going to be fine. And then week 17 at San Francisco, it's it's in California. It's going to be great weather. So week 16 is the only game that I would even worry about at Chicago. So I think their schedule leads them to the NFC North title again, and all the improvements that they've done in the offseason. I think, like I said before, when I first ever joined this podcast, it's theirs to lose.
Did they get the number 1 seed?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
respect.
over San Francisco. I think it's a revenge game when they go to San Francisco. They're going to win that game.
I'll stick by the Bears.
Bears. Okay. NFC East, I guess.
And the NFC East? No, actually, let's just get this over with in the AFC South. I've got Atlanta.
AFC South.
NFC South.
NFC South.
I've got Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I think Atlanta and the Bucks could squeeze in. I'm gonna lean no, but the Bucks could.
I'm going Bucks. Baker Mayfield.
I have the New Orleans. No, I'm kidding. I have the Atlanta Falcons, and I don't have a wild card because that division sucks. Straight up. Like, I don't even think the Falcons are going to do good.
Anybody else has a quick pick on that one?
I got the Bucks. Yeah, I got the Bucks. I think Atlanta has too much internal turmoil going on with their team.
After that 28-3, I don't know, man.
I think
different.
the Bucks.
So we're gonna go to the NFC East there. You know what? We'll go ahead with Jason. Go ahead, Jason. NFC East.
Philly.
Okay. We'll leave Cheddar last.
Go ahead, Jack. What do you
knowing how good the Cowboys are during the regular season, I honestly think it's a toss-up for me between the Eagles and the Cowboys. I think head-to-head, I'm going to go with the Cowboys by just a teeny-weeny bit, by like 3 to 7 points. So I'm going to go Cowboys first in that division, win the division, and then I have Eagles as a wild card.
So for me, given the fact that no NFC East team has repeated as champions in like 20-something years, just off of that, I'm going to go Philly with Dallas, a wild card team.
I threw Tigo a bone earlier this year, and I said I try to help him out with the Giants, but he's been saying some things lately. I'm not feeling him anymore. I'm going Cowboys and Philly as a wild card.
Oh,
And I've got the Eagles winning the division, and I've got the Cowboys going into the wild card.
Oh, me. I have the Eagles winning the division, and I have the Cowboys wild card.
Okay. And then the best division for last.
We will go ahead. NFC West. Go ahead, guys. Who do you guys have there?
All right, I'll go first.
All
I have the 49ers taking that division pretty easily. But I actually have the Seahawks as the wild card. I really do think they're going to put a show.
Keep that ready. I am going to stick to what I said, and I'm going to pick the Seahawks winning that division.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, thank you.
And San Fran getting my third wild card.
Jason Ocheta, you too?
Zach didn't go.
I mean, I'm a Seahawks fan. I think me and Dad.
Yeah, we're going last.
Oh, all right. Yep. You go, Jason. I'll go.
I got San Francisco winning the division with Seattle as the wild card.
I got San Fran winning the division and first seed in the NFC, and I got Seattle for sure making a wild card if it's not Chicago.
The Niners are going to win the division, and I think my heart is going to put Seattle in. My only thing is I think that it's going to be either the Rams or like the Bears and Packers kind of fighting for that last spot. So I could see the Rams getting a wild card spot, but Seattle, I'm going to go get in a wild card spot.
As much as I hate to admit this, I've got the 49ers winning the division. And I don't say that proudly, of course. And I've got the Seahawks going into the wild card. We got Mike McDonald, defensive coordinator, as head coach now.
Or McDonald on the farm.
We have Ryan Grubb, offensive coordinator, that came from Washington, who was the offensive coordinator for Michael Penix Jr. So far, I like the way he's running the offense in the preseason slots. Mike McDonald's going to come in for the last 14 years. I have no idea what it's going to be like not to have a cover zone defense or zone defense, playing a lot more man, a little bit more blitzing. This is definitely new. The only thing with Seattle is they're good on the passing defense, but everybody just keeps running it down our throats. The first 5 games last year, we were number 1 on rush defense. After that, I think we were next to last. So it feels like. So I'm hoping anything would be an improvement. And offensively, I think we'll be able to score points. But got the 49ers, and then I also have like I said, Seahawks as the wild card.
Well, I'm hoping that drafting Byron Murphy out of Texas, I'm hoping that can help with the run game. Just a little bit, man. Just a little bit.
It doesn't have to be a lot. I will take average on the average position. 16, 17, 18, somewhere around there. I'll be happy with any of that rush defense.
Just last quick thing, I think that the Arizona Cardinals will be around a 500 team. I just want to throw that out there.
Morris Harrison Jr. You need to get them points for me.
I just want to throw some out there too. I think every team in the NFC, what is it, East? Wait, who's in the Falcons? What is that one?
West.
NFC South.
Okay, NFC South. NFC South. Not one team is going over 500. That's my. That's what
8 and 9, the best is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I would give you 9 and 8. I would say
I think the Falcons
one
will go
team
9
9 and 8.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Didn't the Bucks make the playoffs last year?
I lean
Yes,
that
they
way
did.
because they
Yeah, they
got
won
to
the
play.
division.
The Lions.
I lean
beat
that way
them out.
because they got to play 6 games in their division. So I think that the Falcons are going to do well in their division to then give them that 9 and 8.
Lions and Bucks played in the playoffs.
Well, that's going to come to a conclusion. Us deciding the picks, and we're just kind of wondering exactly. I wrote everything here, so hopefully we'll figure out who's going to end up being right at the end of the season. Me, and as far as the Dolphins not making the playoffs, and the Bears winning their division. So
Can't wait.
and hold on, and the Giant. Who cares about the Giants? I just want to thank everyone out there for listening to our show. We welcome any comments, any suggestions, any feedback from you. Next week, we'll be coming more with college football, coming with the NFL. Also, we might end up touching up a bit on the update since the baseball season is actually coming to an end. As I always say, I'm your host, Efren. Thank you for all coming out and watching. God bless and good night.
Cue the music.
Yo,
Yo.
so here's the host, Efren, explaining knowledge that's applying, never guessing. Next in line is Zach.
Peace.
Pull you out,